before we got into our conversation, we were saying that there was a lot of optimism for possible interest rate cuts this year, 2026. Looking at the current situation in the Middle East, how likely is that going to be going forward?
That possibility of interest rate cuts was a general one for many countries of the world. And what the effect of this latest war in Iran has been to completely obliterate the possibility of interest rate cuts anytime soon, and instead, actually, in recent times, to transform that to a possibility of interest rate hikes late in a few months' time.
Let's talk about perhaps how you would characterize South Africa's economic performance so far, Dr. Azar, just at the start of the year, the war aside.
The war aside, I think things were looking a little better than they have for some time. The structural impediments to South Africa improving growth to 3 to 5% per annum still remain, and that is not going to just disappear overnight. I know electricity supply has improved a bit, and even rail transport has improved a little, but still, those are not the big issues that we're talking about, structural impediments. We're talking about lack of education, lack of small business, resilience, too much concentration of power in big business, over-regulation, and the very poor competence of municipalities. Those problems are still very much with us. But notwithstanding that, we were looking for a slight lift in growth this year to around 1.5% from 0.5% in the previous couple of years. Or last year we managed to get 1.1, and the hope was that this would pick up to about 1.5 this year, and maybe carry on up to 2% within a few years. And there were a number of factors contributing towards that, including the fact that we were lifted off the Financial Asset Task Force grey list, that we received a credit rating upgrade, that the government of national unity had brought about a semblance of stability in fiscal policy, and that over and above that, what you alluded to is the rand had attracted bonds had attracted a lot of foreign interest. The rand had gained a lot of ground, so inflationary pressures were subsiding, and inflation was approaching very close to the 3% new inflation target, and that meant that there was a strong likelihood of interest rate cuts being forthcoming. Unfortunately, some of those positive tailwinds have subsided now. With this, the possibility of rates coming down has disappeared. Inflation now looks as if it might well rise well above 4% on the back of higher fuel prices. And so I think one can't be as optimistic and positive as one was previously. And then there's one very important additional factor that was looking very favorable, and that was the sharp increase in the prices of key commodities, gold and platinum group metals. That has given way slightly in recent days, but still, that does still represent a big improvement on last year, even at current lower levels than a few weeks ago. The prices of gold and platinum are still a lot higher than they were a year ago, and that should assist the economy going forward. So it's a mixed picture. It was more favorable a few weeks ago, no question about that, but it's not a total disaster yet.
Dr. Azar, unfortunately, we have run out of time. I would love to unpack what impact this will have in the property market for homeowners, those looking to get into the property market, whether this is a time for them to be concerned. And perhaps we can continue that conversation. If you can just hold the line for us for a couple of minutes while we get our sports and latest in business news, so that we can educate our consumers and those who are listening to the show that on what to prepare for and what to look out for, red and green flags during this time. It's gone 30 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. We'll continue our conversation with Dr. Azar, Jammine, Director and Chief Economist at Econometrix, as we talk about interest rates, amidst war and tensions in the Middle East, what impact this will have on you at home, in the household costs, property market. What impact will this have on you? We'll continue the conversation with him right after this.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
We start off with rugby news. The Springbok Women Sevens secured their place in the HSBC Sevens World Championship after finishing second at HSBC Sevens 2 in Montevideo. And the Bog women confirmed a top 4 spot in the overall standings, with one tournament remaining in Brazil next weekend. With the top 4 teams progressing to the 3-event World Championship Series, South Africa's runner-up finished in Uruguay, matching their result in Kenya a month ago, ensures qualification alongside Argentina. The South Americans claimed a 22-10 victory in the final at Estadio Chá, where 3 second-half tries proved decisive. And Proteas wicket-keeper Beta Kona Uyesteisen says his first tour with the Proteas has been one big learning experience and would not trade it for anything. Esterhuizen was named player of the match in their 19-run 4th T20 victory over New Zealand in Wellington yesterday, after he scored 57 runs in a 164 total and helped the team stay alive in the series ahead of the Christchurch showdown on Wednesday. He made his debut in the ongoing series after impressing in the SA20 and says it will take some time to get used to the pressure at international level.
I've loved every second of my first tour with the Proteas. The lessons I think I'd take is probably just the pressure and the scrutiny and how to sort of deal with it. I don't think anyone masters how to deal with it or anything like that. But I think the more you do it, sort of the more accustomed you come to it. So that's the main message that Coach Shooks said to us before the tour, especially us newcomers, that the pressure will be the sort of scrutiny and everything's looked at through a microscope, and just how to deal with that. So I think that's the lessons I'll probably take back to South Africa.
The Proteas went into the match at the cake tin, trailing 2-1 in the series and needing to win to take it down to the wire. Esterhuizen revealed what their plan was with the wicket they were facing at the venue.
The chat amongst the team was, I think we just need to assess better, especially us top 3, top 4 out there. We need to assess the wicket better and then relay information back to the dugout and to the incoming batters. And I think this wicket was a little bit easier to bat on, which obviously helped. We weren't too sure what to expect. So we try to expect the kind of wickets that we got in the first 3 games, and if it was better to bat on, then take advantage of that, and it was nice to bat on tonight.
On to golf news. England's Matt Fitzpatrick carried a final round 68, 3 under par, to clinch the PGA Tour's Valspar Championship in Palm Harbor in Florida. The Englishman was remarkably consistent throughout his final round after losing out at the Players' Championship to Cameron Young a week ago. David Lipsky's birdie chance from just outside 30 feet on the 18th missed the left, but the 37-year-old American closed with a 70 to match his best finish on the PGA Tour. Im, who had